rehearse every Friday, the musicians do, and it's quite a treat. Friday morning, I always come if I'm able, because it's just the music we've been treated to this morning and then some. And we were looking at another piece of sheet music that Sherry had, and it was by Laurel Daigle. Anybody familiar with her? Laurel Daigle, I believe, or You Say. I had run into those words not long ago. I was looking for some, I can't remember what I was looking for, maybe some lyrics for another song, I believe. And I came across that on the internet, and I'm listening to this powerful voice and the words, I just couldn't believe it, of You Say. And she's apparently a very well-known musician. I had not heard of her before. Now, you'll go home maybe and look this up and listen to it, and you're going to agree with me. She has a range that is absolutely unbelievable. And of course, the first thing I did was to call Sherry and my granddaughter Shelby. Shelby's the one that has the range, and they performed here last Sunday. It was beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you, by the way. But we were looking at the sheet music, and I said, well, that would be lovely for you to work up. And they said they would, and I said Sunday would be fine if you could do that, of course. That's, of course, when Charles rolled his eyes at me and was trying to decide if I was serious or not. It's like, I hope she's joking. I'm just not sure. I was, of course. But they will work that one up before long, too. But I wanted to share this with you because these lyrics are powerful. Powerful is the way she feels. I looked up why she wrote this particular song, Laurel. And turns out she had decided that her life went between highs and lows. That when she was getting an award, there was a real high. Then the very next morning, there's a huge low. And here you are in this valley, and you've got to do it again. And she found that it was a pattern in her life, and that she was allowing all the outside ideas, beliefs, and thoughts about who she was and what she should be doing to affect her. So she was falling into depression in the low times. And this one morning, though, she picked up her pen, and she started writing. She turned to God, and she's listening to God. She describes it in her in the lyrics. It's just beautiful. She says, I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? And I know what she's thinking there. Am I only as good as my last award, my last hit, my last sale, my last whatever? Is that me? Is that my worth? And that's what the world has told us previously. So that's what she's thinking. Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know, she says. You say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And then she goes into this beautiful chorus, I believe. And you just won't believe it. You just have to hear it to know the beauty and the feeling of these words and this song. So I urge you to listen to it the first opportunity you get. And you'll feel just like I did when I heard the words, I heard her perform them. She says, taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. What you say of me, I believe. We had someone that came to this earth 2,000 years ago to be a demonstration of everything that we could be. And he told us so over and over again. But I think that at that time, people couldn't hear. Many weren't aware. They weren't aware of what he was saying. They couldn't get it. And there are a lot of us in this lifetime too, right here and right now, we're not going to get it either. I believe very strongly that for a spiritual center, call it what you want to, a church, a place where people want to get together and have fellowship, we must stay relevant, and the teachings must be timely. They must also be simple. And I think that's one thing that Jesus did when he came. He came to keep it simple. He said very few words, and he told stories so that people would remember them and that they would know what he was saying. So this morning, as I had said, I was going to talk about the power of belief. And can you think of any greater power in our lives than the power of what we believe? They say that the foundation of what we think about ourselves is pretty much finished by the time we're 7 years old. Can you believe that? 7 years old, that children have learned about who they should be. And let's not be too hard on our parents. They did the best they could. Absolutely did the best they could with what they knew. Now, you know, a psychologist today might have a time with that, wouldn't they? And that's okay. That's okay. We know a whole lot more now about what we should teach our children than what we used to. We know that. So it makes us mindful when we do have a thought about who am I? What do I believe? I think we need to start questioning that belief. Where did that belief come from? Was that mine? Where did that belief come from? You know, it's a lot of different things that we believe that maybe, you know, when I was growing up, most of us had a mother that stayed home, a father that went to work, and we needed to step out of that box to do something different. Many came from families that had never achieved a whole lot, but they had done enough to take care of their children. My dad's motto was work hard and save your money. My husband's father was more creative. He sent himself to Purdue at a time where hardly anybody went to college, became an engineer, went on to work with Roebling and Sons, and worked on many of the suspension bridges across the country, even the Golden Gate. We have photos of the Golden Gate before it had the road on it. Just wonderful, wonderful photos. So my husband was blessed to grow up in a family that encouraged creativity in every sort of way. As a matter of fact, he's over the top on way too many things. I think sometimes I have to hold him back, but that's okay. It's okay, isn't it, Dan? He's sitting up there ignoring me. But I'm just using that as an explanation of why we do different things. He'll sometimes think I'm interested in all that. Now that he's retired, he has all this machinery that he collects, and he bought a huge trailer a couple of weeks ago that he could go pick up something bigger on his way back to the... I had already been with him. It's a trailer shop just north of Slidell off of 59, and I'd spent the whole day with him going there, and then he went to talk to somebody about hydraulics, and then he went to talk to somebody about something else, and so we get home and resting, and he looks at me, and he says, hey, I'm going to go back and look at that trailer. I'm going to buy it. You want to go with me? And I'm looking at him like, this is a trick question. I just know it is. This can't be real. He's surely to goodness. I said, no, Dan, but I know that Joey Bignoli wants to go with you. And he did, didn't he? Sure did. Okay. Get these guys together on some things they're interested in. They can talk about hydraulics all day long and tilt lifts and all that good stuff, you know. And one of my nephews, I'm from East Tennessee. I grew up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. One of my nephews up there said that one day we could just have a tractor show and a spiritual retreat at the same time. And I said, no, I don't think it's going to work. But he does come here with me on Sundays. So the power of what we believe about ourselves. Am I creative? Did I believe when I was in school that I would never amount to anything? There are a lot of people that believe that, you know, and they were told that, and something in them never allowed them to step over it. Muhammad Ali said not too long ago, I was reading something that he wrote, and I just laughed the whole way through it because it made me smile. He said, I'm still the greatest. And I love the story because he told about growing up and that his parents taught him that he could do whatever he wanted to do. And when he went to school, he started saying, I'm the greatest. Now, we know that's boastful, and maybe we shouldn't do that, but I think that the mentality that went with it was powerful. And even now with Parkinson's disease, he still repeats that to himself. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. There was a writer, Norman Cousins, that tells about a football game that was attended by a lot of people, and a doctor was there, and then there were 5 people that had become ill at this game. And so he was treating them, and it came out that they had been drinking the sodas from the concession stand there. So they made an announcement and said, just let you folks know you shouldn't be drinking anything from the concession stand. And so all of a sudden, there are like 300 people that get sick, you know, and some of them are so sick they even have to go to the hospital. So as the doctor is looking at these and talking to these people, though, he's realizing there's something much worse going on here. These 5 people, turns out they had eaten on the way to the game, not at the game, they had eaten potato salad from the same deli. And that was the culprit. So what happened with all these other people that got sick? Because they thought it was the drink. So they made the announcement that it was actually potato salad. Well, a lot of people went back to their seats. They weren't nauseous anymore. And people at the hospital went home. Turns out nothing was wrong with them. But that is, as we know, the placebo effect. And it is real. It is real. As a matter of fact, sometimes our intention and our belief about whatever medication we're going to take is as powerful as the medication that's given to us. So keep that in mind and just remember how powerful our beliefs are. I was just going to say, I know that I had said that I was going to tell you what some of my beliefs are today, and I'm going to do that. I don't want to bore you with too many of them. But I do believe, and I want to say this, I formulated my beliefs. A lot of people say they formulated their beliefs after they found unity, and I think that's wonderful. Well, I needed to struggle a little bit more myself, I guess, because I needed to struggle on my own and find out what my beliefs were. And then I found unity and found that it was very similar to the beliefs I had already formed. And I thought that was interesting too. So I do believe there is a loving power and presence in the universe, and it does not matter what we call it. We can call it Mother, Father, God, Allah, Great Spirit, Source, Creator, whatever it is you want to call it. That's what I believe. It wants our best. And that is the most important belief to me, because all of the others fall under that. Each of us is a spiritual being having a sacred physical experience. Sometimes people talk about the physical body as if it's not as important. That's not true. These bodies are sacred, and we need to take care of them to the best of our ability. And in these bodies, in this spirit, I can connect with this higher power anytime and any place. It's easier in the stillness, but it's also possible in the midst of chaos. It's my choice. I can take a moment and pause and say, just a moment. I need a moment. And just because someone asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it right then. You know that, right? You have the right to pause. I need a moment. I'll get back to you on that, you might say. If you don't have time at the moment to process what's being asked you. Jesus was our supreme example of how we can live. He came to teach us. What I do, you can do. He said that. He said that. It is a little chilly. Diane, would you like to go back and run the thermostat up a degree or two? I noticed everybody putting their sweaters on. It was very humid in here when we got here this morning. Now remember, I'm telling you what I believe, okay? You're free to believe whatever you want. I don't believe there's a hell or a judgment. I believe we judge ourselves. If we're living unconsciously, we can expect drama and chaos in our lives. And more of it. I believe that. And I believe Jesus came to tell us that. And he did in so many words. I believe that having an open mind leads to spiritual unfoldment. If I do not have an open mind, I'm not going to learn anything. If I already know it all, if I already have my mind made up, then I'm not going to be teachable. We each have intuition and guidance, and it is in the stillness that we hear the best, in the silence. Forgiveness is essential. It's more essential for you than the other person. They may go on with their lives, but for you, your health and your happiness, forgiveness is essential. What we focus on expands. What we appreciate multiplies. I believe that. I believe that our thoughts, our words, and our intentions come from right here, from the heart. I intend good. They have power. I believe that grudges, resentments, and blame bring only harm to you and others. Resentment will kill you. Blame. I think that to truly be evolved spiritual people that can access their highest good, you must put blame, resentment, and these other negative feelings away. You must. We must take responsibility for our lives. And the people that don't take responsibility for their lives and they continue to blame others, they're not going to get over it. It's just that simple. Kindness, compassion, respect for self and others are essentials. And I also believe, and this one's hard, especially when something hard has happened, that something good can come from every situation. At the time, it won't look like it. There can be some good that can come. I think that that's enough for today. I think that what I said earlier is really important, and that is that you form your beliefs based upon who you are today, what you've seen in your life, and what you know to be true. Try to let go of those things that keep you small. Try to let go of those things that keep you believing in a small God. We're not limited. The only thing that limits us is our thoughts and our beliefs. So like Lauren Daigle, I believe. I hope you do too. Thank you for your time.